we wake up for count one morning, right? So I'm on the top tier. You got the bottom tier. So as we wake up from the count, I'm standing, because you got the guard that come up the top tier, then you got the guard that come to the bottom tier. So I'm looking at, as I'm leaning on the door, I see the guard come back. He walking past one cell. Then they walk past the cell. They hit the door and start screaming for backup. So all the guards start coming. Oh my God. Old head. He must have been in jail for like 20-something years. He decided it was over. It was time for him to make parole his own way. He hung himself from the vent.
Damn.
The vent, like, is on top of this, like on the sink. You got a sink right here. Then you had like a little vent, like holes, like a vent right here. And it got big holes in it like that. So he tied himself and basically, he got out of there because he couldn't take it no more. He just was like, I'm done. And it was like, during my time in jail, you don't often see suicide, but you hear about a lot of people committing suicide, attempted suicide. You hear about people killing themselves. You like, who had the heart to do that? To tie themselves up and string themselves up. And like that moment when I was in there, because I had moments in jail when I used to be in jail, and that shit really impact you. Be like, yo, this shit real. And you be able to start to understand more of the different side effects that jail had. He was on medication too. He was already on like psychotropic meds because he used to always be like dazed out. But he had a bunch of time and he was like, I'm trying to get out of here. A lot of times when you in the streets, you out here, you doing your thing, you just tough. It's lonely. It's a lonely place in prison. It's a lonely motherfucker. People is going to pull out on you. A lot of people that you might be with, they're going to get up out of there. Mm-hmm. The girl, she's going to be out. She's going to be messing with somebody else. She's going to move on because life don't stop. And if you're a part of the street game, you got to understand this. You got to be built to go ahead and make sure you could deal with years by yourself, or you could deal with the graveyard. A lot of people don't talk about that. But like I tell you, jail is a place where it's just every day. Every day it's just trauma going to your brain because you're trying to understand, how am I living in this little ass closet with another man? Every time he shit, I got to smell it. I'm talking about everything. Our whole life is just inside of a cell. See, a lot of people never know. There's one boy, right? This is what people don't understand. You got dudes in jail that sell sandwiches out of their toilet. Let me explain something to you. Dudes like cold sandwiches. They might make them in the what's name. And I done seen dudes, and it fucked me up when I seen the old head. You go to the cell, he got the towel over his toilet with a plastic bag inside of the toilet because the water is cold. That's like the coldest water, the toilet water. Mm-hmm. But it's a plastic bag in the toilet, but he got the sandwiches in there. And when I went there, my old head, I'm ready to go grab a sandwich. I walked to the joint, I'm like, he got sandwiches in his toilet. No, it's laced with the bag. That's the coldest part of the cell. And you just understanding the mindset that the people go through, the shit that they be on, and just like, you just be trying to figure this shit out.
Putting the sandwiches where you shit at.
Yeah, where you shit at. But he tell me, no, the toilet clean. I'm like, oh, head. He went back to the cell. I'm standing at his door. He cracked this, take it out of the plastic. I mean, even though he tried, no, youngin, listen, man. He got bags inside his toilet. It's cool, but it's the mind that's where you take shits at.
You flush the refrigerator, basically. That's crazy, that's the refrigerator.
So he got his joint laced up, because all the time, some prisons got the ice machine on the block where you take the ice and put it in the foot tub, and that's where you put your little juices, whatever. But all of them ain't have them, and this joint didn't. So when we go back, he go to the joint, I'm standing at the cell door, he cracked, take it out of the plastic, little delicatessen sandwich. You know what I mean? He crack it open, pull his chips out, eating. Yeah, because young blood, listen, man, I ain't remember down. I'm like, you just ate a shit sandwich. Like you just really
like it was nothing.
Like it was nothing. And it was like, this dude was a big time sandwich seller. So it was like, yo, so it's like dealing, seeing the different stuff. You seeing people commit suicide.
Big time. Sandwich seller.
He was a big time. You seeing people commit suicide, and the next day you seeing people eat shit sandwiches out of a toilet. It's real deep in jail, man. And the mindset that you gotta program, when you go into jail, you gotta deprogram yourself in order to reprogram yourself. Because everything you knew before jail, that shit don't even mean nothing. You gotta figure out how you gotta travel through this terrain, which is the penitentiary, in order to make it to the other side. And hopefully you can make it sane. Like I always tell people, I had to go insane in order to stay sane. Because I had to believe that all this crazy shit that was going on in jail, that it was real.
That's
so
crazy.
It's real fuck. So when you out there, you operate, read the fine print. If you out there, I understand. If you want to be a tough nigga, you want to be tough, you want to be busting your gun, you want to be a rider, do your thing. You ain't got to listen to me. I'm just an old dude that did 20 years in jail that they're just trying to give you some advice. You don't have to listen to me.
You don't.
But they got space in jail and they got space in the graveyard. Right.